Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something really unique.
Definitely.
It's this document, a field log galactic catalog from an intergalactic explorer, apparently, named Kerry Draper.
Right, Kerry Draper.
And it details their first brush with Earth's internet, the World Wide Web, back on April 19th, 2025. It's quite the perspective.
It really is. And you know what's striking is the gap between what Draper expected and what they actually found.
Totally.
The log mentions anticipating simple stuff, cat videos, perhaps a recipe, I think was the quote.
Yeah, innocent enough, right?
But instead, they described it as a cognitive supernova, just this overwhelming and often like really manipulative flood of content.
Oh, yeah. You picture them beaming down, ready for, I don't know, scientific exchange, and bam, flashing banners.
Oh, it's
Miracle cures, discount supplements, and this bizarre, urgent message about needing to monetize their, quote, carbon-based body.
It's absurd on the surface.
It is, but also disturbingly familiar somehow. That immediate pressure.
Yeah. It really does ring a bell. And it got weirder, faster. Draper, they started seeing stuff about glycogen moons.
What even is that?
Who knows? And, get this, a supposed lizard bureaucratic takeover of Idaho.
Idaho, okay.
Which they noted seemed, geographically unlikely. And then the whole turmeric detox thing.
Ah, yes, the turmeric, activated by black pepper and uncut anxiety.
Uncut anxiety. And, well, Draper admits Curiosity won out. They clicked.
Of course they did. And then?
Then came the fallout within one day. Apparently.
Yeah.
Digestive issues from the turmeric.
Predictable, maybe?
Maybe. A notification feed that just wouldn't stop, and they'd somehow racked up 3 different subscription debts.
In what, Doom coins?
In Doom coins, yes. Which is how they unlocked the Fear for Fee framework speedrun badge.
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
A speedrun badge for getting into online debt and regretting turmeric.
It perfectly captures that feeling of digital buyer's remorse, doesn't it? That turmeric-activated detox regret.
It does, but okay, beyond the initial shock and, frankly, the dark humor of it all,
yeah,
Draper hit on something deeper, this core realization that the whole online experience felt cleverly engineered to monetize my every anxious thought.
And the kicker.
Yeah.
It was working.
Exactly. That's where it stops being just funny and starts being, well, concerning.
And that's where Draper starts breaking it down, right? This Fear for Fee framework. How did they see it working?
Well, first, their social media feeds, they described them turning into this endless loop of curated dread.
Curated dread.
Yeah, like it was precision tuned to spike their cortisol. Think about those all-cap PS headlines,
Oh, absolutely. Promising insider secrets, warning of catastrophe.
Always needing that instant panic click. It's a mood.
It's a business model, it seems.
So within that model, Draper identified 3 sort of key parts. The first one, love the name, the Apophenia Maintenance Service Plan.
Okay, Apophenia. That's seeing patterns where there aren't any, right? Like faces in clouds.
Exactly. And this system, Draper says, weaponized that, made everyday things seem like ominous signs.
So clouds weren't just clouds anymore.
Apparently not. They were spelling out doom or buy now. And each time Draper noticed one of these uncanny coincidences.
Let me guess. There was a charge.
Yep. $0.99 per coincidence. Billed in Doom coins, of course.
Unbelievable. Did they mention anything else about that?
There was a throwaway line about considering a bulk discount for deja vu.
Okay, that's bleakly funny.
Yeah.
But it highlights how they felt trapped in this loop, right? Seeing connections everywhere.
Constantly manipulated. Okay, so the second part was the adrenaline delivery infrastructure.
Adrenaline delivery sounds intense.
Yeah, and it kind of was. Every breaking news alert, Draper noted, gave them that physical jolt, that fight or flight kick.
Standard reaction to urgent news.
Right, but here's the twist. Each jolt, each alert also added to their Doomcoin tab through nightly auto billing.
So they were literally paying to feel stressed out.
Pretty much. Paying for the privilege of anxiety delivered right to their device.
That's efficient and unsettling. It's not just attention. It's profiting directly from like a physiological response.
Exactly. Which leads to the third piece, the conspiracy commerce pipeline.
Okay.
Or as Draper called it, the doom to boom funnel.
Doom to boom, right?
Yeah.
So channel the anxiety into buying things.
You got it. You click the scary headlines, you pay for the exclusive dossiers on the lizard people in Idaho or whatever, and then boom, you're offered the solution, usually some dodgy product like their example, nanobotuliting brain boost gummies.
Brain boost gummies, of course. And let me guess about the price.
Draper noticed the hidden fees baked into the price seemed to mirror the very, hidden toxins the gummies were supposed to fight against.
Oh, that's brilliant. A perfect, self-contained cycle of fear and supposed relief, all designed for profit.
It's a closed circuit, and naturally, Draper tried to question it, tried to ask, is this really a coincidence?
How did that go down?
They got a pop-up from the Algorithmic Hype Council. It charged them an irony credit for questioning the system.
An irony credit. Okay, the satire's sharp there.
Isn't it? And the alternative, if they didn't pay, mandatory enrollment in the Connect the Dots calisthenics class.
Seriously.
Complete with virtual red yarn and diagrams linking, random concepts together, just reinforcing the pattern seeking.
Wow. So even trying to think critically gets drawn back into the system or penalized.
Seems like it. And here's something really disturbing Draper found. Even feeling good was a problem.
How so?
A moment of optimism, feeling hopeful, that apparently triggered a 24-hour mandatory doom scroll refresher course.
No way. To what, bring them back down?
To reinforce the negativity, yeah, keep them engaged with the anxiety stuff. It wasn't just about making money off fear, it was about suppressing anything else.
That speaks volumes about maintaining engagement, doesn't it? Never let the user feel calm for too long.
Which logically led Draper to the big question, the one at the heart of this whole log. Who profits each time we panic? Who cashes in when calm becomes an unaffordable luxury? It's so direct.
It really cuts to the chase. And did they get an answer?
Not directly, but even asking the question, just reflecting on it, that cost them 0.05 reflection credit.
Reflection credits.
Yeah.
So even thinking about the system cost you within the system.
And that's how pervasive it felt to Draper. Your internal monologue isn't even free.
That is deeply unsettling.
So, understandably, Draper decided they had to get out, to opt out entirely.
Which probably wasn't easy.
Not at all. It involved getting a notarized permanent suspension of disbelief.
A notary? For what?
Who knows? And then the only real options seemed to be ditching all Wi-Fi devices and heading for, like, a high-altitude monastery.
A drastic measure.
Yeah.
But it paints a picture of how inescapable it felt.
Totally. And picture this. Draper's up on this remote mountain, finally some peace, but their phone is still buzzing with notifications.
Ugh, that relentless pull, even when you try to physically escape it.
But it's there in that almost silence that they have this epiphany. That silence, genuine silence, wasn't merely expensive. It was priceless.
Simple but powerful, especially in that context. The real value isn't Dean coins, it's just quiet.
Exactly. The peace to think without being constantly prodded and monetized.
But there's one last quest, right?
Oh, the final irony. Just as Draper's about to finally toss the device off the cliff or whatever,
What happens?
a pop-up appears. Keep reading with a 7-day free trial.
Oh, come on. Right at that moment.
Right then. The system's final, desperate grasp.
It's almost darkly funny again.
It is, but Draper doesn't click. They just recognize it for what it is. And choose calm, choose that silence without counting the cost.
A conscious choice to step outside the framework. A hopeful end, in a way.
Yeah, I think so. So looking back at this whole field log, what really stands out?
Well, the sheer ingenuity, if you can call it that, of monetizing anxiety, the sophistication of this fear-for-fee framework.
Right, the different mechanisms all working together.
And just how pervasive it all felt to Draper. How it seemed to touch every interaction, every thought even.
And it really makes you pause and think about our own experiences online, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, reading this, do parts of it resonate? That feeling of being targeted, maybe? Or manipulated by the feed?
It certainly prompts reflection.
Right.
Which leads back to Draper's big question, but maybe for us.
Yeah.
What are the costs for us? Maybe not doom coins, but, the subtle ways our attention, our emotions are maybe being well monetized.
What are modern reflection credits? Things we pay without realizing.
Exactly. And it makes you reconsider Draper's final thought, too, that value of genuine silence.
In this always-on world we live in, maybe finding that silence, that space, is the real challenge, and maybe the most valuable thing we can seek.
Definitely something to think about long after this deep dive.